Hi friends, today we are discussing about active voice and passive voice. First we have to know what is active voice, what is passive voice. What is active voice, what is passive voice. First active voice is the definition is in a sentence where the subject is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be in the active voice. You see one example, there is a one sentence. In the sentence, there is one subject, helping verb, main verb, and object. Okay. So subject, verb, object. So if we can say roughly in a sentence, where the subject is doer of the action, so then the verb is said to be in active voice. See that in a sentence where the subject is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be in the active voice. Example, Kiran writes classwork. Subject, verb, object. It is simple present tense. It is a simple present tense. See, Kiran writes classwork. How to change? So first we going to discuss passive voice. What is a passive voice? So in a sentence where the subject is receiver of the action, the verb is said to be in passive voice. See, the example is classwork is written by Kiran. Here, what is happening here? Here, classwork. Okay, it is a subject. Here, what happened? It is a subject. This classwork is receiving something. Okay, receiver of the action, by someone, so in this case, in a sentence where the subject is receiver, the done of the action, the verb is said to be in the passive voice. This is a example. Yeah, one more example we will observe. So the sentence is they played football. They, it is a subject. Played, it is a verb. Football, it is the object. So certain rules are there while changing active voice to passive voice. Some rules are there. So what are the rules here? See, it is an active voice sentence. We change into passive voice. So rule number 1. First what we have to do? So first we have to identify subject, verb, object. Okay now. So we identify subject, verb, object. Next, rule number 2, subject in the active voice becomes object in the passive voice. See here, it is a subject, na? Subject becomes object. Subject in the sentence, it becomes object in the passive voice. Whatever object in the active voice becomes in the passive voice subject, you can say that second point, subject will become object, object will become subject. This is a second point. Okay now, so third point, subject will become object. Third point is object will become subject. Okay, so this is a process. Next, fourth point. So here first we have to observe what is a verb. Verb to. While changing the passive voice, we will change into verb 3. Whatever the verb has given, we will write verb 3 in passive voice. That is a fourth point. So fifth point is we use by preposition in passive voice sentences before object. Okay now, next sixth point is that active voice sentences should have the object. Active voice sentences should have object, otherwise we cannot change the sentence into passive voice. Here based on that we can say that subject verb object. If there is a object we can change. If there is no object, how can we change? We cannot change. So first that one we check that. So roughly we can say that a transitive verb, transitive verb has a active voice, okay, it will take a object. Eighth point, intransitive verb, intransitive verb, there is no active voice, there is no passive voice. Passive voice, that's it, you can say that. So transitive verb has a object, then it has a scope to change PV, passive voice. Intransitive verb, there is no object, there is no scope to PV. Okay, transitive verbs can change into passive voice. Intransitive verb cannot change into passive voice because there is no object. And one more thing is that change in pronouns. So we will use the subject verb object na? These subjects. So in place of subject any name is a Kiran is there, for example Kiran, so it is he, so he will change into him. Okay, these are the pronouns. For example, in place of subject, for example I is there, I change into me in AV to PV. Active voice sentence, the subject is I. If an active voice sentence, if the subject is I, in passive voice sentence the object is me. Okay, we change into us, you change into you change into you, they change into them. Objective, they objective case is them. He objective case, sorry, she objective case is her. It object case is it. This is a process. So for example, in a sentence, object is there, me change into I, us change into we, you change into you, they change into they, them change into they, her change into she, it change into it. This is a process. Verb change at glance. So the one more important thing is that we discussed that how the subject will change into object. Okay, now how the subject will change into object. What are the pronouns changing to object? So just we discuss that. Next, the most important thing is that verb. Okay, verb change at glance. For example, in active voice, the sentence has a verb one. Sentence has a verb one. Okay, the sentence has a verb one. In passive sentence, according to the subject, we will use am, is, are, anyone. Okay. For example, I after am will come. So he, she, it after is will come. Are plural. We, you, they. After are will come. But in passive is compulsory verb 3. Verb 3 will come. Okay, same process. In active voice, verb 2 is a simple past tense. Simple past tense is there. So in passive voice, we'll use was or were. Was. Where do you have to use was? Singular after we use was. Plural after we'll use were. Last finally, in active voice, in passive voice sentence, finally, what is it? Verb 3, verb 3, verb 3. Okay, so was were will use. I after was, he after was, she after was, it after was, remaining plural. We, you, they after were. Okay, so in active sentences, simple present tense, present tense, simple present tense, simple past tense. Okay, now it is present continuous tense. What is that? Present continuous tense. Present continuous tense. So in passive voice, how to change? Same helping verbs will use. Same helping verbs. Additionally, we'll use being. Okay, being plus verb 3. Common verb 3 is common. So next, past continuous tense was, were plus verb 4. Verb 4 in the sense verb 1 plus ing. That repeat, past continuous tense. So in passive voice, we use was, were, being, verb 3. Same like a present continuous passive voice. Past continuous passive voice. Next, present perfect, present perfect, past perfect, past perfect. So have or has plus had, verb 3. So what is that? Just additionally same helping verbs we have to use. Additionally been, we have to use been. Last finally compulsory verb 3. So will, shall, can, may, such a verbs, future refers will, shall, can, may. So we can use same helping verbs. Will, shall, can, may. Additionally, we will use be. Okay, na? Be plus verb 3. Will, shall, can, may plus be plus verb 3. Next, would, could, might. Such a words are the helping verbs, auxiliary verbs. Okay, modal auxiliaries. These are modal auxiliaries. Will, shall, can, may, would, should, could, might. So modal auxiliaries are there in active voice. Modal auxiliaries are there in active voice. So then beside we have to use be. Same helping verbs we have to use. Additionally, we use be.